Good day everyone. In this video, I will discuss the quicksort algorithm, one of the most efficient and commonly used sorting algorithms. The goal of quicksort is to sort a list of elements like numbers, strings, etc. in ascending or descending order. So the core idea of quicksort is by choosing a pivot and partitioning the array so that all smaller elements go left while the larger elements go right, then repeating the process recursively. So it is useful when you want a fast, efficient, and commonly used sorting method. It is also excellent for large data sets, best in memory sorting with a good pivot selection, and also used in many real-world systems because of its practical speed. So just like Quicksort works like a sorting exam papers, we choose one paper as a pivot, then separate lower and higher scores, place the pivot in the middle, and repeat the process on each sides. So next, we will use the Lomuto partition, since it is a simple method used in a quick sort to split an array into two parts based on the pivot. It was introduced by Nico Lomuto, and it is one of the easiest partitioning schemes to understand, since Lomuto partition chooses the last element as the pivot, then it rearranges the array so that all elements smaller than the pivot go to the left, while all elements greater or equal to the pivot go to the right. The pivot ends up in its correct final sorted position. So next, I will show you how the code works. First, we define a function called quicksort. Inside the quicksort, we have the array, the list of numbers you want to sort. Low, the starting index, which is the default is 0, and high, the ending index. So setting the high value, if high is not given, it becomes the last index of the list. After this, we make another function called partition. It is the heart of the quicksort. So we define partition as A, low, and high. This function picks a pivot, rearranges the list, returns the final position of the pivot. The pivot is the last element of the array. I marks where small numbers should go, starting at the left side. Next, for j in range, we scan the array. So j moves from left to right. It checks each element against the pivot. So, if the current number is smaller than the pivot, we swap it with the element at index I. After that, we move I forward. Next, we put pivot in the correct position. We swap the pivot with array I. The pivot is now in its final correct position. So we return I. This tells quicksort where the pivot ended up. Next, if low is less than high means only sort if there are at least two elements. Next, we get the pivot position. P is equal to partition. Now, the array is divided into left side, smaller than the pivot, and right side, larger than pivot. So we sort the left side, everything before the pivot. After that, we sort the right side, everything after the pivot. We have here the initial setup before partition. So let's say we have an array of 34, 12, 5, 66, and 1. The pivot will choose the last element, which is 1. Next, the pointers. I is equal to 0 where index starts, the boundary for numbers that are less than the pivot, and j for scanning the pointers. J will start at index 0, moving forward. Next, I will show you the diagram for a better understanding where I, j starts and where the pivot are. Next, a step-by-step partition process. We compare j to the pivot. Is 34 less than 1? No, so there will be no swapping. I stays at 0. The array unchanged. Next, we compare again the j and the pivot. So we compare 12 and 1. Is 12 less than 1? No, still no swap. The array stays. Next, we compare again the j and the pivot. Is 5 less than 1? No. So there will be no swapping again. The array stays. Next, we compare again the j and the pivot. Is 66 less than 1? No. Still no swap. The array stays. After the loop, the final pivot swap. We now place pivot in its correct sorted position by swapping. We swap r, I, and r high. Before, we have 34, 12, 5, 66, and 1. After the swap, the pivot is now in its final position. The partition output will be the pivot 1 is now at index 0. All elements to the right are greater or equal than 1. On the left side is empty because nothing was less than the pivot. On the final node, I is equal to 0 means no element was smaller than the pivot. Placing the pivot at index 0 is exactly the correct for sorting. Next step is the quicksort will recursively sort the right side, the 12, 5, 66, and 34. So next, I'm going to show you the output for the quicksort. So next, we execute it. So array is equal to, inside the array has 34, 12, 5, 66, 1. So we print it before and after. So before array. Next, we call out the quicksort. So we print after. So let's see what will be the output of the after. So as you can see, the difference between before and after, it was sorted out. Quicksort typically runs in 0 and log n time on average and in best case because each partition steps divide the array into smaller subarrays that are processed recursively, allowing many elements to be sorted with relatively few comparisons. But if the pivot is repeatedly chosen poorly, such as always selecting the smallest or largest element, the partition becomes highly unbalanced, causing the algorithm to degrade to a worst case time, which is the complexity of 0 and squared. The most confusing part on the quicksort was understanding how I and j pointers move during partitioning, and how I only advances when a smaller element than the pivot is found. What surprises me on the quicksort was that how a simple pivot-based partition can sort data very efficiently with a minimal extra memory. I also found some real-life applications during my gathering of information. This algorithm can be applied in real life to quickly sort large datasets such as database record, files, exam scores, and search results, and many more.